Hey y'all, it's Desiree and I'm back with another video, and for this video God is saying it's time to get to know you. Some of you may have found yourself feeling completely out of touch with reality, completely out of touch with your surroundings and who you are. Almost as if you had to relearn everything again. And God is saying it's time to get to know you. It's time to relearn, rediscover you. As we go from glory to glory, we can find ourselves in these temporary places where, like I said, we just feel completely out of touch with reality. All of a sudden, nothing makes sense. All of a sudden, you don't really feel like you. But God is saying, as you step over into new life, it's so important, it's imperative that you get to know you. Because you cannot continue with the same narrative. You cannot continue with that old narrative. And when I say that you need to relearn you need to get to know you again, I'm not saying like, oh, what's my favorite color? What's my favorite food? What's my hobbies? What I like to do? I'm saying that you need to allow God to reveal you to you. I really feel like there's a lot of people who are waiting to arrive where God is bringing them, not realizing that they are already there. But because of the disconnection that you have within yourself, you're not able to perceive it. It's almost as if so many have gotten off at the right bus stop, but because of the lack of direction, they don't know where to turn. They don't know what to do next. They don't know what the next step is. And oftentimes we think that in order to get where God is taking us, that we need God alone. But we cannot get to where we are going with God alone. We can only get to where we are going through partnership. And in order to have that partnership, it's imperative that we know who we are. How are you going to be a teammate? How are you going to assist your team member if you don't even know who you are? If you don't know what you bring to the table? If you don't know your abilities? If you don't know your strengths? If you don't know your weaknesses? Sometimes we beg God to put us in the room. We sit back and we wait to be brought into the room. But once you're in the room, then what? Now what? If you have not been revealed to you, God cannot do it alone. He's mighty, omnipresent, omnipotent, but God cannot do it alone. Was it God who shot the slingshot, or was it David? God cannot do it alone. Was it Esther's courage, or was it God's courage? God cannot do it alone. As you walk into this new season, as some of you are already in this new season, partnership is required. And it's a must that you know what you bring to the table. It's a must that you know what it is that God put in you. It's a must that you are confident, that you are bold, ready to arise to the occasion. God is using you in new ways. God is no longer using you how he once used you. Your life is not going to look how it once looked. So therefore, you cannot continue with the same narrative. So many people are waiting on the promises of God, but not realizing, okay, but when you get to those promises, it's also going to come with assignment. It's also going to come with new authority. It's also going to come with new power. And if you don't know who you are, you're not going to be able to walk in that assignment properly. You're not going to be able to walk in that power properly. You're not going to be able to handle that authority properly. And what if I told you that some of you are still waiting simply because you do not know who you are? What if I told you that God has not brought you to what he has promised simply because you do not know who you are? Simply because you will not know what to do once you get there, because you have not allowed him to reveal you to you. I'm not talking about your self-love journey. I'm not talking about your self-healing journey. No, I'm talking about God revealing you to you. I'm not talking about some self-help books. I'm not talking about a podcast. I'm not talking about a prophetic word. It's some doors that true intimacy is required to step into. It's some territories that true intimacy is required to truly step into. It's some people waiting on the funding, and God is waiting on true intimacy. You are still needing to hear instruction. You are still needing to be properly positioned, not spiritually, not physically, but in your mind. Yes, spiritual posture is important. Yes, physical posture is important. But what about mental posture? Because sometimes we have every tool in the box. We are fully equipped. We are fully ready, and the only thing that's keeping us in the dark, The only thing that is keeping us held back is our lack of self-confidence. You cannot get there in confidence in God alone. And you cannot have true self-confidence until you truly get an understanding of who you are in God. And in order to do that, intimacy is required. Spending time with God, seeking God's heart, staying at His feet, getting everything else out your ear, all the YouTube videos on how to start the business and what you're going to need, all of that is great. But it doesn't amount to anything when there isn't any true partnership. And I just want to say this, you don't need no background information when you got true partnership. You ain't got to too much go doing a whole bunch of research when you have true partnership. All those expensive courses and classes, it don't even take all that when you got true partnership. The information comes to you when you got true partnership. It's just a click of a button away when you got true partnership. They wanted to sit down and give you the game for free because of true partnership. Because this person right here knows who they are, they know where they're going, and they know who they serve. I want to partner with them. True partnership brings about favor. I just want to do it for her because when she walked in, I could tell that she was about her business. I just want to do it for him because when I talk to him on the phone, I could hear it in his voice that he about his business. Some of y'all are waiting on these miraculous signs in the sky. Y'all waiting on the provision to rain from heaven, and he could do that. But sometimes all you need is partnership. Sometimes all you need is an understanding of who you are. And during those moments when you're in between glory to glory and you feel so unsure, so uncertain about yourself, the enemy will try to throw out attacks. He'll try to send opportunities in to tell you who you are, to paint a new narrative for you. I mean, just look at the trajectory of the world right now. The enemy is painting the narrative. Because of lack of self-awareness, because of lack of self-understanding, so many people do not know who they are, and the enemy is painting that narrative. If you found yourself in that in-between place, draw near. Draw near to the Holy Spirit. It's new downloads in His presence. It's new revelation in His presence. It's a whole new play, but you're working the old play, wondering why is it not happening, wondering why is things not progressing. You still stuck on the old you. It's like an iPhone. Every once in a while they have one of those really big updates. Try not to update your phone. You're still going to be able to make calls. You're still going to be able to text. You're still going to be able to use your internet data. But see how that phone begins to function when you refuse to update it. And then you're on the phone with Apple trying to figure out what's going on, trying to figure out why you can't take pictures, trying to figure out why things ain't saving right, storing right. And the first thing they say is, well, what version are you on? And if you respond with anything but the latest version, oh no, call us back when you update your phone. I can't even properly run a diagnostic until you update your phone. Some electronic devices, until you update that device, it's inoperable. You are inoperable in this new season. Please listen to me carefully. You will be inoperable in this new season unless you allow God to reveal you to you. You will not be able to make it far in this new season unless you allow God to reveal you to you. Not only will you not know what to do, you won't know how to sustain. And I just want to encourage somebody, as you draw near to God, as you seek intimacy, as you seek further partnership with God, make sure to ask Him the right questions. If you don't know what your purpose is, ask Him. If you don't know what your calling is, what your gifts are, ask Him. If you don't know how He sees you, ask Him. God, how do you see me? How should I view me? Change the way that I see me. Give me your eyes to see me. Give me your heart to see me. Reveal my insecurities. Reveal the root of my insecurities. Help me to believe that I am worthy of the calling. Show me that I am capable. Show me that I can handle it. Show me that it's not too big for me. Get personal. If you want to know something about you, who better to ask than God? Who better to ask than the one who created you? As you seek God, seek you. Because as you walk further into this new level of glory, your wants and desires are going to change. How you interact in your relationships is going to change. What you require in your relationships is going to change. The type of company that you subject yourself to is going to change. The type of spaces that you subject yourself to has to change. How you pour back into yourself might change. How much rest you require may change. Your diet may change. And those may seem like minuscule things, but they all work hand in hand when it comes to God using you at your full capacity. Those in-between moments, in between glory to glory, can be some of the most uncomfortable moments in this faith walk. Because it's like all of a sudden, you realize just how high you are. It's like rock climbing, then finally taking a pause and looking down to see how much progress you made. If you aren't sure of your footing, you'll grow afraid. Don't get lost in the uncertainty. Don't get lost in the confusion. Because you're not confused, you're being renewed. You feel wiped clean. You feel out of touch because your software is being updated. You're looking around all of a sudden, wondering where you are. It's because you've arrived to new territory. And in new territory, the first thing you need is direction. But in this new territory, in order to gain new direction, you need self-understanding. Stop looking for an outside voice because God is already speaking from within.